What's going on, everybody? It's Bulls Nation Station back at it again with another one. And the Chicago Bulls had defeated the Miami Heat 116 to 108. And yeah, it was a dope game, man. It was crazy because Miami Heat, they really brought it on us early in the game. You know, it seems like they were hitting all their shots, all their threes. Tyler Hero, he came and he produced very well, especially early. And Jimmy Butler, he was constantly getting to the free throw line all game, getting a lot of help from the refs. But the Bulls, they stayed and they battled. And so I'm going to get into each of the players and get my takeaways for each player that played. But before I do that, I want you guys to subscribe to my page, as I'm going to be updating you guys after every game and talking about what's going on. So definitely subscribe to my page. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the bench all the way up. And so the first player I want to talk about is Javonte Green. And Javonte Green, he didn't start today, but you know, a few of the takeaways I had from him was that he brought a lot of toughness this game. I mean, he was down there literally fighting, scrapping, and pushing through everybody. Like, he even tried to dunk on a person, almost got the dunk. But yeah, he was just really aggressive, and he was a hound out there. You know, you can attribute that to the 6 fouls he actually fouled out. But yeah, the highlight play from Javonte Green was when he threw that overhead pass to Vučević when he was driving to the hole. Overall, I mean, I feel like he had a couple of costly fouls that resulted in free throws for the other team. But yeah, he played tough. He stood his ground every time Jimmy Butler tried to go at him. And so yeah, I'll give Javonte Green a solid game, even though he didn't really produce that much on offense. He had like some free throws and he missed both his threes. But yeah, shout out to Javonte Green. Next player I want to talk about is Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond, man, he's already in the front runner for funniest player on the Chicago Bulls. I mean, when the game started, he actually played really good. He got some deflections, he got some steals, and he was playing big out there. He had a nice alley-oop when he dunked all over Dwayne Dedmon, and he was using his size, which I love. And you know, and as the game went on, he played some good help defense, and he did a lot of good things. And he was just a big body cramping in that paint. Heading to the fourth quarter, it just seems like Andre Drummond was just losing it more and more to the point where he was having silly ticky-tack fouls. He started, you know, getting carried away off his driving and throwing up, you know, crazy layups. And so Ayo Dosunmu, it was pretty cool. He showed the leader that he is. And he showed, you know, when Andre was ready to go argue with the ref, Ayo Dosunmu just held him back like, hey, we good. We got the lead. Chill out. Calm down. And so shout out to Ayo Dosunmu. Andre Drummond, he finished with 9 points and 5 rebounds. But yeah, he had a couple of highlights, and he is a huge upgrade over Tony Bradley and the other backup big options we had last year. Now I want to talk about my man Kobe White. You know, Kobe White, he started off really cold, actually. You know, he came in and he was just bricking like every single shot. But once he caught fire, he started hitting his threes. That's when we was able to start, you know, taking off for another team and building that ground to where they couldn't catch up with us. You know, Kobe White had some really nice plays. He had some big threes. He had a nice layup driving to the hole. And his defense was actually okay. His defense wasn't too bad. He didn't look like a liability out there. And that's the type of Kobe White he needs. If he can stay consistent and get more and more consistent hitting his threes, Kobe White is going to be a huge piece for our team. You know, coming off that bench, being a shooter, just a knockdown shooter that we don't necessarily have. And so shout out to Kobe White on the okay game. He finished with 10 points. As far as Goran Dragic, he finished with 12 points. And Goran Dragic, I feel like when he came in after that first shot he missed, he basically kept the Bulls in it, especially when DeMar was out. Goran Dragic, he was competing. You could tell by the crazy three-pointer he threw up, where it should have been a foul, but the refs wasn't giving us anything. It should have been an N1. But Goran Dragic, he was hitting threes back to back. He had like 3 or 4 threes. And you could tell he had that edge and that mojo. He wanted to go at his former team and, you know, kind of give it to him, because they did replace him for Kyle Lowry. And clearly you could tell Dragic played a way better game than Kyle Lowry. And so the next player I want to get into heading to the starting lineup, I first of all want to cover Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams didn't have a good game today. And it's still that mental block that's just haunting him. I don't know if he's out there nervous or he's overthinking, but he was just content on not being that involved in the game. And it was parts where you didn't even realize he was on the floor. He was so quiet. His defense was okay while he was out there. He was primarily guarding Jimmy Butler. And, Butler wasn't hitting that many field goals. So most of his points came from the free throw line. But yeah, we're just waiting, man. We're just waiting on that moment. Patrick Williams finally just snap out of it and come out of his shell. And so, shout out to Patrick Williams. He finished with 4 points. He misses 1 3. But yeah, if we could just get more and more, if he could just get more and more comfortable in that offense, man. The defense is okay, but the offense, if he could just find his niche, the Bulls will be able to elevate. We're already going to be better than what people give us credit for. But if Patrick Williams can find his niche and get it together, we're going to be looking scary. So shout out to Pat Will. I want to talk about Alex Caruso, man. He finished with 6 points, 5 rebounds. And, offensively, he had a couple of nice shots and made some nice passes early on in the game. He had a few turnovers that was a little too much for me. But, Alex Caruso does Alex Caruso things. He was everywhere on the floor, diving, going for steals, hounding people. Alex Caruso does so much that goes unnoticed for this Bulls team, and it's infectious. When Alex Caruso is out there, you see other Bulls players just out there scrambling, hustling on defense, and I feel like he's a huge piece for our team. You seen when he went out last season how bad the team became. That's because Alex Caruso does so much for the energy, the competitiveness, and the hustle for our team. And I feel like he had a really good match on the court with Ayo Dosunmu. They both played really well. I'm gonna get into Ayo in a second. But yeah, shout out to Alex Caruso. And so Ayo Dosunmu, man, he finished with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 of 6 from the 3. I mean, Ayo played a great game today. And the thing that stood out to me about Ayo, he showed a newfound confidence that I did not see at all last year. I mean, he hit his first 3, and he literally was yelling at Tyler Hero like, man, y'all need to jump it. Y'all need to jump out. Y'all can't guard me. Y'all can't guard me. And he was just smiling, and you could just see how aggressive he was. He was pushing the ball up the floor. He had some nice steals. When he seen it was a defender that couldn't guard him, he'll just go in and take him. And that's awesome, seeing that aggressive Ayo, that's awesome to see. And his jump shot looks way better. It looks way more fluid than it did last year. He's willing to run, to dribble into a jump shot, and it goes in. And so Ayo, I feel like if he could stay on track to what he's been doing, he's going to have a really great season. And another thing that stood out to me as far as Ayo was that leadership. He showed tremendous leadership this game, gathering the team when they seemed to lose their cool. He did that for Drummond. He did that for DeMar. He did that for a few people. And Ayo, he's showing his leadership. And, it's awesome to see. I feel like we're going to be in good hands while Lonzo Ball is out. Nikola Vučević, he played a good game. 15 points, 17 rebounds. I mean, he was out there battling on the boards. And, he hit some nice shots. He had a really big 3 that was really good to see. And he had a couple of nice post moves on Bam Adebayo. But the thing that stood out to me, really, for Nikola Vučević, his defense. His defense looked really good today. Like, it really wasn't that much of a defensive slippage. He was out there guarding Bam Adebayo in the mid-range. He was even switching out on Tyler Hero, and he did a really good job. I was truly impressed on the footwork that Vučević used, playing defense. You could tell he's a little quicker. He was willing to cut. DeMar found him for a nice layup. Yeah, Vučević, man, he definitely played a really great game. And if he can just keep this steady progress, yeah, the Bulls are going to be in good shape. Hopefully he stays healthy. And I just like the game he's been playing. And the last player I want to get into, man, the guy of the hour, DeMar DeRozan, man. What can you say about DeMar DeRozan? 37 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 from 3 for the 3-point line. I mean, DeMar DeRozan was bananas. And it's crazy because he played the right way. You see how they start the game. They were trapping him every time he touched the ball. He made the right passes. He wasn't forcing anything. He let other players do it. But once the Miami Heat started to adjust, that's when DeMar was like, all right, I'm in straight attack mode. And that's what he did. He was going at everybody, no matter who was guarding him. Jimmy Butler could have guarded him. He had some fadeaways over Jimmy, had some and ones. and he's a master at drawing the foul while hitting the jump shot. That's just so good for our team, and it's dope to have a player we can rely on when it gets close, deep in the game in the clutch. And so, DeMar DeRozan, I feel like he's gonna be just as good and maybe even better than last season, depending on circumstances. But shout out to Debo, he did his thing, and those are my takeaways. I feel like Billy Donovan coached a pretty good game today also, as far as rotations. And yeah, I'm gonna holler at you guys later, and we're gonna watch our next game on Friday against the Washington Wizards. So don't forget to like this video, and I'm gonna holler at you guys later. I'm out.